Sometimes we all need to pull our head out of the sand, take a look around, and see what's really going on around us. Gold, silver, precious metal mining stock investors, geopolitical strife, geopolitical turmoil has always been a strong supportive factor for the price of gold, silver, and the precious metal mining stocks. What's going on in the world right now that maybe a lot of people are ignoring, maybe even we are ignoring, that we need to talk about, we need to be aware of, and that can provide a strong, supportive environment for silver, gold, and the mining stocks? Let's talk about that right now. Wherever in the world you're joining me from, I would imagine that you would agree that right now we have economic war going on in the world. Check that box. I would also imagine that you would agree we have traditional warfare going on in the world right now. Check. And we've got a flash visitor, my daughters with their new shoes.
Welcome to Ron's basement.
All right, you guys get out of here. Well, it's hard and unfortunate to have to talk about war after a visit from those two, but that's the reality of what's going on. We do have conventional warfare, unfortunately, going on in Europe, in Ukraine, and it's really the East against the West, no matter how you want to stack it, right? If somebody's providing significant amounts of weapons to either side of the battle, they're basically involved. So we have the East and the West essentially at war in Ukraine. Let's hope for everyone's sake that the situation does not escalate any further. But there's a massive economic impact to this war that is just really beginning to develop. We have major sanctions on both sides put against each other. That is slowing economic activity at a very, very fast rate. Things aren't being exported. Things aren't being traded. It's a very nationalistic type environment that is developing. We have the Eastern countries, Russia, China, the BRICS nations, talking about starting their own reserve currency in which they can transact financially and get away from what has been a dominant force now for decades, the US dollar. And these countries have a majority of the world's population, and they produce a majority of the world's resources, metals, energy, and they're becoming very vocal that they're not happy with the prices of these real assets they produce, precious metals, oil, etc. As a matter of fact, Vladimir Putin recently announced the formation of what he's calling the MWS, the Moscow World Standard. It will be a new trading hub, a trading market for precious metals in particular. These are all countries talking about their desire to back their currencies with more real assets because they produce the real assets and get away from the US dollar, which has dominated world trade for decades. This is not good news for the power structure in the Western countries. They are not happy about this. These are the types of things that big wars get started over. I'm not saying I think that's going to happen, and I certainly don't want to see that happen, but at minimum, these major changes, major shifts going on with some of the top economies in the world in the East that have a majority of the world's population and a majority of the world's real resources, that doesn't spell good times for the Western countries. This is a developing situation that we need to keep our eyes on because things are developing. However, they can change very, very quickly. Geopolitical turmoil, it does have a major impact on the price of gold and silver if you're looking at it in, say, US dollar terms. Look, gold and silver have seen this show many, many times over the last thousands of years. They will be okay as we try to protect ourselves, protect our families from who knows what could happen in the future. It might be a good idea to consider keeping some money, keeping some of your assets in the real hard asset category: gold, silver, land, whatever. Now look, I don't have a crystal ball. I could be dead wrong. I'm not offering financial advice, investment advice, relationship advice, any kind of advice. I'm just sharing my opinion. I will tell you this: I enjoy that you come join me in Ron's Basement. You are always welcome here. I appreciate your time. Until next time, you be well.